Hello, gremlins. Okay, if you just watched my last video, you're probably like, Catherine, this is the exact same location. You have not moved. Technically, I have. Okay, I've had things going on. It's the end of my workday, and I'm here in my Protect the Forest Ewok shirt with my Endor cup to talk to you about my new reading vlog, which you're currently in because you clicked on it. But this is where we kind of start our transition into May. For those of you who don't know, May involves May 4th, or May the 4th be with you. And that day is like a big Star Wars day. So, starting last year, I did a whole like vlog series of just Star Wars books. Like Star Wars books, Krista and I doing Star Wars things, all in May. Now, this month is still April. And I'm going to post this probably May 1st or somewhere around there. Because we are seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters on Sunday. And I really, really wanted to like vlog it. Not the movie, of course, that would get me so many copyright strikes. But I'm gonna dress up, I think Krista is gonna dress up, and then, I mean, I don't know if she's dressing up or not. I'm dressing up. But we're dressing up, I'm at least dressing up, and we're gonna buy the bucket and the cup and all the things. But there happened to be, while I was at the library, see, this is why I should not be left alone in a library, but I went to pick up my hold on a book in my last vlog, The Lamb. I'm gonna cough, I knew it. I have asthma, sometimes I cough. But I went to pick up my hold, and Krista went to go pick us up dinner, so I was alone for a little while at my library. And what I did is I was like, oh, I should look at the Star Wars books while I'm here, just get an idea of what they might have. And instead of waiting, I decided I would just grab everything. And one of these everythings that I grabbed, okay, I didn't grab everything, that would have been insane. It was like 50 books, but I did grab a lot of things. So one of the things that caught my eye is this book over here. It's Star Wars Labyrinth of Evil, official prequel to Revenge of the Sith. So I'm gonna read this before we go to the movie on Sunday. So I thought I would vlog it because I'm going to read this before we go. Oh, now my nose itches. But we're gonna read this before we go because I want to know, because I also freaking love General Grievous. I even have a figure of General Grievous on my wall that Krista got me. It's like a, technically like a kid's toy figure, but he's so cool. I don't know, I just have a thing. He and I also cough a lot. It's a shared, I am very weak and I love lightsabers kind of vibe, but I just am like so excited for this. So I'm gonna read you the description. This is by James Lucino. I'm going with Lucino. I don't think it's Lucino. But here's the description. The war that erupted in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, is nearing its boiling point as the dauntless separatist forces continue their assault on the teetering Republic, and the diabolical triumvirate of Count Dooku, General Grievous, and their master, Darth Sidious, fine-tune their strategy for conquest. In Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the fates of key players on both sides of the conflict will be sealed, but first, crucial events that pave the way to that time of reckoning unfold in a labyrinth of evil. Capturing Trade Federation Viceroy and Separatist Council member Newt Gunray is the mission that brings Jedi Knights Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker with a squad of clones in tow to Nemodia. I think I said that right. But the treacherous ally of the Sith proves as slippery as ever, evading his Jedi pursuers. Did I skip something? No. I didn't. They're talking about Grievous. Even as they narrowly avoid deadly disaster, still, their daring efforts yield an unexpected prize. A unique hollow transceiver that bears intelligence capable of leading the Republic forces to their ultimate quarry, the ever-elusive Darth Sidious. Swiftly taking up the chase, Anakin and Obi-Wan follow clues from the droid factories of Charosphor to the far-flung worlds of the Outer Rim, every step bringing them closer to pinpointing the location of the Sith Lord, whom they suspect has been manipulating every aspect of the Separatist rebellion. Yet somehow, in the escalating galaxy-wide chess game of strikes, counterstrikes, ambushes, sabotage, and retaliations, Sidious constantly stays one move ahead. Then the trail takes a shocking turn, for Sidious and his minions have set in motion a ruthlessly orchestrated campaign to divide and overwhelm the Jedi forces and bring the Republic to its knees. Ha ha ha! I'm so excited. So I got into Star Wars because of Revenge of the Sith. I was obsessed with it. I have the soundtrack on CD over there in a pile of CDs. I'm going to listen to it while I'm reading this, but you won't get to hear it because it's a copyright strike and a half. I am just like so excited to read this. I'm definitely gonna read this. I have a huge stack of books over here. Actually, do I want to show you the stack? You can't really see all the books, so I'm not going to show you yet. I'll probably show you before this video ends as I'm like figuring out what to read next. But I do have another book lined up that I'm going to read after we see the movie. Probably. If not before, depending on how quickly I read this. I'm just so excited to read this prequel because Grievous, like things, and I'm so excited. But I'll be wearing Star Wars shirts in advance, just because it's fun. It's fun to be ready for a movie and do like a themed end of your week. The other book is not a library book. It's a book Krista bought me last year. She bought me a few books in May of last year to prep me for this year. So I have some very fun ones that I'm super excited to read. And then, I mean, I'm excited to read all of them. And we've also picked up some newer books. I'm just like, oh my gosh, so many things. Also, I'm going on a trip sometime this month and I have to figure out how I'm bringing books because I don't want to bring library books. It's a whole thing, but be excited for Revenge of the Sith things because I am pumped. I am pumped for all of this. I know I'm yelling. I'm just really excited. But yeah, so get ready for Star Wars Chaos, brought to you by Head of Gremlins and just true chaos beast, me. Also, yes, I know, they're still in gauze. If you're new here, I hurt my hand on a snowblower. I had to have surgery. I have a reconstructed tip and a partially reconstructed tip. It's a whole thing. They're doing fine, actually. I'm almost to a point where I won't need to wear gauze. So if you want more details, I did a video where I talked about it. It's not a designated video. I talked about it at the beginning of my Vampire Academy Part 2 video. So you can find out all the details there. I explain a lot, in case you're curious. But I'm gonna go. I need to go take care of dogs. But let's get ready to Star Wars! Talk to you in a bit, gremlins. Good morning, gremlins. It is Friday. I am wearing this very fun outfit. So I'm actually wearing a flannel. I wear flannels a lot, but it's been cold and hot and cold and hot, and I wanted to wear this t-shirt today, but I just thought I would put a flannel over it. So the shirt is, I prefer my coffee on the dark side, and it's a Darth Vader mug. And the reason I wanted to wear this is because of my mug today. But I'm going to give you a quick book update. I am a little over halfway through Labyrinth of Evil, and I'm really enjoying it. So it did take me a little bit of getting used to, solely because I was reading like horror and like lit fic, and this is not those things. So I did have to like get into the zone. So there is kind of a tone to some Star Wars books. There are the writing style, and I have another book by this guy, so I'm glad that I'm reading this one now. Sometimes the tone is very battle heavy for a while, and that's what happens in here. There's a lot of like ship fights where they're flying through space and shooting at each other. I was like, oh wait, there are gonna be like big action scene moments. So that took me a second, just because the other books that I've been reading haven't really had those. Well, I haven't had coffee yet, and I feel like I'm gonna cough again. But so far in this, we've gotten a lot of setup. So there's a lot going on. It's definitely like we're in the thick of it now, and I really want to know what's gonna happen. So oh my gosh, it's so many things. So the Separatists are being protected by Grievous at this point, and I'm not gonna like spoil this whole book. I'll just let you know, Grievous is with the Separatists. There was a chair that had this like hollow communication in it, and it still was like receiving, and that was left behind on accident, and so it fell into the hands of Anakin and hi Goose and Obi-Wan, and Anakin like was figuring stuff out about it because it's tech and Anakin loves tech. So they've been like chasing down leads regarding this chair and like who it belongs to, where it came from, all of that. While that's going on, we have also gotten some background on Grievous, and Grievous's background in this was actually way sadder than I thought. So we initially, hi kid, we initially see Grievous, I don't know what she's doing, and he's talking about how, like at a point he talks about how he was in a crash and now he's in this like metal body because he was damaged so much, and he'd been damaged before in battle because he was like a conqueror basically. And then we then get some more details from Darth Sidious, aka Dooku. Not Darth Sidious, he's not Darth Sidious, that's Palpatine. No, it's from Dooku. Oh my gosh, I always forget his name, like his Sith name. I don't know why, I always forget Dooku's. Oh, Tyrannus. He's Lord Tyrannus. He actually was like part of a plot to make Grievous what he is and like make him a living leader of the droids. And I was like, that is horrifying. But it was really interesting because like that's also why Grievous is so good with the Sith, because it was all kind of like calculated. It was very wild to learn, and I was like, what? Poor lightsaber loving wheezing Grievous. Goose is about to knock my coffee on the floor. But that's been interesting so far. Obi-Wan has gotten drunk twice. One time unintentionally, the second time sort of intentionally. They were getting info and he and Anakin had to basically drink to fit in, and I was like, the Jedi are drunk now? It was very funny. What else? So we've met some like allies. We're doing some scenes with Yoda and Mace, which is cool, but a lot of it has been Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then we're like jumping to moments with Dooku because he's kind of in charge of stuff that's going on, and a little bit of Grievous. We have seen Palpatine and Sidious because, you know, he's still two different people at this point. And he's met with senators. He totally knows Anakin and Padme are a thing. And he's kind of fishing for it at a certain point. So it's been really fun. This has been a very fun read. I wish there was more Padme in it, but this is not a Padme book, so I can't complain. But I love seeing Padme and stuff. The trilogy about Padme, Sabe, and her, like, maidens, they're not really maidens, but her people, is really, really good. So if you haven't read that, I would recommend it. But I'm gonna keep reading this. There's more draft tonight, so I'm sure I'll be watching more. But yeah, it is really interesting, and I'm liking this build up to Revenge of the Sith, because I'm just like so curious about what all they were doing. Because so far it's been like wild lightsaber times. They've had to like figure out all these people who are involved. At one point they got arrested. Like, just a lot of things are happening at this point, so that's very cool. I kind of want to put eyeliner on. I may do that today. I don't know. But the reason for the shirt. Hi, Goose. It's not because of Goose, though Goose is very cute. Hi, do you want to show them the coffee? Hello. Goose says hi. She give you little headbutts. So, I don't want to startle her. I was going to wait to open these until May, but it's Star Wars Dark Side Chocolate Truffle. I've had this before. This was at TJ Maxx, so I grabbed it. I liked this one. It's basically like just dark roast coffee. I remember thinking it tasted kind of chocolatey. And then I'm going to be using, hi G, this Darth Vader mug that is from Valentine's Day and says, "Together we can rule the galaxy." So I decided I would put on my shirt, but let's get this in. I think this holds 12 ounces, I think. Again, I was gonna wait to do these. I'll show you the little, it's Bones coffee. I did buy a bunch of this last year, like from Bones, and it's pretty good. The problem is I just like Joffrey's more, so I bought more of that, and Krista has bought me some other coffees I really like. So I wasn't even gonna get these, I just happened to see them while we were at TJ Maxx, so I grabbed them. I also have Wookiee cookie, which I liked. It's supposed to taste like a chocolate chip cookie. But I'm gonna make this coffee. I'm gonna head up to work. And yeah, that's the day so far. The goal is to read more of this, well, Labyrinth of Evil, not the coffee, during my lunch break. So I should have an update for you on it at some point later today. So yeah, I will talk to you a bit about more Star Wars things, gremlins. Okay, I'm not gonna play a ton of this. Ooh, so cute. I'll pause it for a sec. So while I'm working today, I am playing a ton of Ash and Brian or Always Believe. It's the channel. They're like older videos from like the opening of Galaxy's Edge, and they did this marathon where they watched all the Star Wars movies. They did like a 24-hour challenge thing. So I'm watching that. Really, I'm playing it for background. I've seen all these videos like a bajillion times, but I'm playing it for ambiance, for sound, for Star Wars vibes, just so I stay in the zone throughout the day. I just wanted to show you, that's what I was watching. I made this playlist. This is just my watch later. I went through their We Love Star Wars and their Batu list, and I just kind of like added whatever ones I wanted to watch. These are all over the place. Some are newer, some are older. They have some very cute ones with their daughter Alice. And I think I have a couple of those farther down, but I was watching some of the like classics, just for the fun of it. They are a great Star Wars channel if you haven't watched them. They do a ton of other stuff too, but if you really like Star Wars, I would highly recommend. But I'm gonna go. I just wanted to show you what I was listening to today. I've also had to make a second cup of coffee. So Vader is back and full of coffee. You can kind of see him. But he now has Lion King coffee in him because it had like cinnamon and stuff. So I thought that's fun, but I gotta go. So I will talk to you after lunch. Hello, gremlins. I did put on eye makeup. I debated. I just thought I would try and put on. I haven't put eyeliner on in forever because I'm right hand dominant, and I've done it like once or twice, and sometimes a little hard, but I thought I would try because I'm gonna be trying to do some makeup on Sunday for the movie, and I was like, oh, well, you should at least try and do eyeliner to see if you can do that first. But I am here in my very fun shirt because I finished Labyrinth of Evil. I'm gonna put it down though because it's kind of heavy. But yeah, I did finish it. We are partially in my lunch break. I'm giving you like a quick update right now because I really wanted to finish it. I'm at my desk and I just saw a gnat and I was gonna try and grab it, but then I realized I had to turn something off. Anyway, I finished it it does get exactly to the start of Revenge of the Sith, and we got a little more Padme as the story evolved. A lot of Padme being like, Anakin, come back to me, Anakin, come back to me, which he can feel her in the Force, and then I feel bad because I'm like, well, also, like, the two of you, she's more needy in this book than she is in her own trilogy, but again, this book is written based primarily on how she behaves in parts of the movie, and so, like, I get it, but also she's a little damsel in distressy. But overall, this was very fun. We got some C-3PO, we got the return of R2, we got a lot more Grievous. There's a big battle over Coruscant. There's just a lot going on because they have to get Palpatine. So that all happened. We got a little more Dooku. Anakin did some questionable Force usage that tied into his anger a touch. But yeah, so it was just a really fun time. If you haven't read it before, I think it would be a great, like, prequel to read before May the 4th, or if you're going to see the movie, though I'm posting this after the movie is in theaters, so in general, if you're going to watch the movie, I highly recommend it. It was a fun time, but humorously enough, I did not realize this until last night, but the next book I'm going to read is Darth Plagueis, which is also by the same author. I literally had no idea, but I wanted to read this with the Labyrinth of Evil book because, well, one, I did not know this would happen, but Darth Plagueis gets mentioned in that book, but also, if I'm remembering correctly, Darth Plagueis is mentioned in Revenge of the Sith during the opera, like the water ballet opera thing, and so I was like, oh, that would be, like, kind of a perfect tie-in because we're getting Palpatine and it, like, fits with all of that. So I am reading that one next. Had no clue it was the same author. So I'm curious to see if his writing style is similar. Typically it is with the Star Wars books. They try and, like, keep their tone the same. And I felt like Labyrinth of Evil fit the mold of kind of what I expect from male written Star Wars books. That is not to say that women who write Star Wars books cannot write similarly, or anyone at all, non-binary, any identity, could write similarly or differently to, like, the standard male written Star Wars book, but I feel like the tone in them is typically, there are a lot more battles, I almost feel like, in ones where I know a guy has written it. So I think it just depends, but I'm curious to see if this one is, I don't see how this one could be as battle heavy because there's not a war going on during Darth Plagueis that I'm aware of, like during Darth Plagueis' time, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know anything about Darth Plagueis except that he's Siddi's, like, Sith master. So I'm just like, I don't really know anything. I'm very curious to read it. I just, it is always interesting to me. And this set of May books is going to be very male author heavy unintentionally. Last year, I very specifically picked books written by women. I'm not sure if any of the writers were non-binary or identified differently. I don't know if like, anyone has a different identity that I'm not aware of, but primarily they were female writers, and then I did read some male written books, of course, because it's the Star Wars universe and there's a lot of them. I read Zahn, so Timothy Zahn. I am reading more Timothy Zahn this coming month, so in May, because it's not May yet. But somehow the way it worked out in my library, just a lot of the books I picked up, I believe are written by men. The only one that is not... I have a couple that aren't. One is an Obi-Wan book that is written by Kirsten White, who you may recognize from, like, Hyde, what else? Lucy Undying, some other books. She also writes YA. This is YA specifically. And then another one I have is by Christy Golden, I believe, and it's an Asajj Ventress book. I'll be reading those later in the month, so when we actually get to May. But a lot of them, just because I was grabbing from my library, are books by guys. So if you have a Star Wars book to recommend that I can try and get my hands on, I definitely will attempt. I have two other books, I don't know who the authors are offhand, that I need to check that are Han or Han and Leia. And then I've read so many of the ones that I don't have time to reread them this year, but I absolutely loved the Padme trilogy. Crimson Climb is really good. The Ahsoka book is really good. There are so many good Star Wars books written by women, but this year is just how it shook out that I grabbed a lot of books by guys for the most part. But getting back into what I'm reading next, we're reading Darth Plagueis. That's just the title, because it's one of the, like, essential Legends books, so I'm reading that. And yeah, tonight we are going to the store, I think, because I need to get supplies for the weekend. So I'm gonna make some Star Wars food. I'm gonna make some Star Wars drinks for Sunday, possibly on Saturday. I haven't decided yet, but definitely Sunday when we're going to see the movie. So that is the update. But Labyrinth of Evil was very funny. It also had a really good quote I was gonna tell you. So it's pretty early in the book, and I marked it with a receipt, so I remember, and I wrote it down. But TC, this droid that they wind up having for part of the story, goes with Anakin and Obi-Wan to this specific location, and the Zecharian population, like that group of people, they are very focused on like technology being perfect, or like the perfection of technology. And so TC is like, oh, they are going to hate me. Like they are going to think I'm horrible. And Anakin responds by saying, wear your flaws proudly, TC. And I thought that was like, wear your flaws proudly. I thought it was a very, very sweet quote. Anakin is also bionic armed at this point, so he only has the one hand that is his own. But as someone who has some curious changes to her hand, I just really like that quote. But I need to go. I still need to eat. So I just wanted to fill you in because I had finished it. And I was like, I want to do that before I eat. Mostly because I was afraid I was gonna get food on my shirt. So I am actually going to go eat now. And yeah, I have finished it. I'm gonna have to eat fast. I did not mean to talk this long. But I'm looking forward to reading Darth Plagueis, getting an idea of Sidious and his relationship with his master. I feel like it's going to be very contentious. Just an assumption. So yeah, I'll be reading that. Probably not till tonight. There's more of the draft tonight, so I'll probably be reading during the draft. We did watch all of the first round. Krista watched part of it. I had it on the entire time she was gone because I did not know how to like, I was so afraid to change the channel and not be able to find it because it was on like Tubi or something, and I don't 100%, we don't use it very often, and I was like, I'm leaving it. I'm not touching buttons. I don't want to lose the draft. So it was just on while I was reading, which was making reading last night a little harder because it made me very sleepy. But I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I have things to talk to you about. I might bring you to the store. I haven't decided. It's a little hard to film and shop because of hand, so we shall see. I may just do like a little reveal of stuff we picked up for meals and drinks, but I don't know. I haven't decided. All right, talk to you later, gremlins, when I have things to talk to you about. Possibly Lord Plagueis things. Hello, this is a very quick update. It is Saturday. I'm wearing this very fun sweatshirt. It has the crawl on the back, but I can't really show you. We ran out to get some grocery stuff and food. So behold, I think you can maybe see it. You probably cannot read that bag, and that's a horrible angle, but that is way back. We got burgers. Thank you. And again, gonna rotate you. The draft is on. I've muted it because the NFL. I don't want to get a strike somehow, so it's just up there. I'm gonna unmute it in like 2 seconds so Krista can watch it. But yeah, so we're gonna have the draft on. I'm gonna eat burger, finish drinking my Diet Coke. I'm not a huge fan of Diet Coke, but whatever, it's what they had. So I'm having that, and then I'm gonna make Krista a cocktail, and I will show you that very quickly. Everything on this is a hot mess. I have started Darth Plagueis. I am on part 2. We've been introduced to, so the opening is literally how Palpatine becomes the master and not an apprentice. Then it's how Plagueis became a master and not an apprentice. And then now we're at the point where Plagueis is courting Palpatine. Krista just walked in. But that's the update I have for you. I'll talk about it more in detail after we've eaten and stuff. But I gotta go. I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I make a cocktail. That's what it'll be. I'll talk to you more when we make cocktails. Bye for now. Ooh, hi, you're on a not plugged in toaster, and I know for a fact I balanced this on here before. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, that kept falling over and I was like, ugh. Okay, so Krista is still watching the draft, but I am here to make her this drink she really likes. So this is a Star Wars drink, technically. So it is this drink right here, sort of. So this is the actual recipe from the Galaxy's Edge cookbook, but she prefers it without the spices. And to make this easier on myself, I'm just doing 1 can and then half a can of sweetened condensed milk. So we're doing 1 can, 14.9 fluid ounces of Guinness with half of a, how many ounces is this? Normally I can find it. Oh, there it is. half of a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. This is super easy. You put both of them in a blender. Like, you just put them in a blender, you blend it, you put it in a cup. I have to grab her a cup, actually. I'll do that when I'm done. But as for the book, I'm gonna take the lid off the blender. That has been going very well. It makes me really want to read the Darth Bane book, but stop focusing on the crap on the counter behind me. But I don't own that one. So I'm probably gonna wait and do that one next year because I have so many books already for this year. Oh, this lid isn't even gonna come off all the way. So it's just very interesting. So Plagueis has a real name, much like Palpatine is Sidious. His last name is Damask, so that's just what I'm gonna call him. He has a first name too, but it's like, I don't remember what it is because they keep referring to him as Damask primarily. So he's part of the Banking Guild, and they get into that more, but this does make sense for the whole like Sidious works with the Banking Guild later on because the Separatists are also involved in the Banking Guild. I'm not gonna blend this with the camera on, that would be terrible for all of our ears. All right, that's about half. Yeah, that's about half. So he has come upon Palpatine because I keep cutting my own head off at the top, and right now I don't really care because I'm really focused on this. But Plagueis winds up meeting Palpatine through his father, sort of. So there is an election happening on Naboo, and depending on that election, the Banking Guild could get more control over Naboo. Like, they could become more involved with plasma mining. So they want to kind of investigate some stuff, and in that they learn that Palpatine released some information that impacted the election a bit, and Plagueis is like, perhaps he could work for us as an inside man. So he goes to Naboo and kind of like sways Palpatine a bit, and ultimately this is how they come to be master and apprentice. I'm not giving you a ton, I'm not revealing all the stuff, so this will definitely also be a surprise if you want to read it because it's very good so far. And what Lucino, I think it's Lucino, has done that's really fun is he'll randomly include a sentence that's like, the Revenge of the Sith, as like a comment, and then he'll be like, the Phantom Menace, as like one sentence, and it's been delightful because I've been like, oh, are you gonna do other ones? So it's just been very well done, very fun. There are still some explanations of like ships that my brain is like, what? And this is not a bad thing. He's trying to add a lot of different creatures to the story and like different types of Star Wars beings, but the problem is because it's been a minute since I've like read a Star Wars book, I can't remember what all of them look like. So because we're not really getting a description, he just says the name, and I've been like, what? Huh? It's been a bit. What does that look like? And then we don't really get a description. So I have had to Google a couple things and I feel like if you're very, very like consistently consuming Star Wars, this would not be a problem for you. But because I sometimes am consuming Star Wars, sometimes I'm taking a bit of a break, I don't have some of the creatures like full in my mind, or some of the different like groups or species. So it's just throwing me off a little. But I'm still very much enjoying it. This is Goose. She is chilling. Oh yeah, this is your cup. I found this for Krista. Hi, yeah, it's for you. And it says, talk to me, Goose. And I got it for her because we were joking that she should have a sports show where it's just her and Goose, because she asks Goose for football advice and they like chat. And then Goose is the one who gives all the correct answers. And so she just was like, oh, that would be so cute. So I saw this while I was grocery shopping and I was like, she needs it. So Goose is very invested in it, actually. Which is cute. But I need to blend this. So I'm really enjoying Darth Plagueis. I'm going to read more while Krista is watching the draft, but I need to blend this beverage and get her a cup. And Goose is eating the sweetened condensed milk. I knew that was gonna happen. All the cats were like investigating it while it was in the bedroom because she like brought it upstairs with some other stuff because she like grabbed things we need to put away. And she was like, oh, you can like just take it back down, because I was headed back down in a sec. Hello. So yeah, hi. I need to blend this, so I'm gonna let you go. But I need to get Goose off the counter first because the blender will scare the bejesus out of her. So yeah, I will talk to you when I'm farther in to Darth Plagueis. It's gonna take me a bit. Even in part 2, I think I still have almost 300 pages left because it's a big book. So I have plenty to read still. So yeah, I will update you sometime tonight. Probably, I think I'll update you sometime tonight. Don't hold me to that in case we like I may take a nap during the draft or read a whole bunch and then forget to update you. Who knows? But you'll definitely be coming along to the movie tomorrow because we're seeing Revenge of the Sith tomorrow, and I'm dressing up. So I may not include you in the getting ready process because it's gonna be a little tricky with my dominant hand like this, but we will try because I want to do certain makeup for the character I'm going as. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, but I need to move Goose so she doesn't get scared and fall off the counter. So I will talk to you later, Gremlins, when I have updates on Darth Plagueis, or perhaps we're going to Revenge of the Sith, depending on how invested or tired I become. I just may not update you. Sometimes this happens, you know this. All right, I will talk to you later about more Star Warsy things. Good morning, Gremlins. While I do my gauze switching, which you don't get to see, sorry, I wanted to tell you I finished Darth Plagueis last night. So this definitely gets pretty far into the franchise. So we get more of Plagueis and, oh gosh, no, I just want to call him Damask. That's Plagueis' real name. Plagueis and Sidious working together. But what's wild in this is we get the introduction of Darth Maul. This is enough. There we go. Yeah, Darth Maul gets introduced. We get so these are legends, so they're not considered canon anymore. But Sidious is on Dathomir, and this woman comes up to him and is like, I have a child, and I want to give him to you, basically. And it's Darth Maul. And then he trains Darth Maul from that point forward, which is so weird to me. But that's in there. And then basically all of the setup to what will be the Clone Wars, then the Ultimate Order 66, then we get a recap of Phantom Menace, very brief, at the end of the book, just to like set up other things that are going on. It's so, like, it was so well done. And then Sidious is absolutely evil because there's a section where he's like, oh, it's not gonna focus on me. There we go. Maybe I just took my asthma meds too. This is I am not ready for the day. But yeah, talking to you. He starts talking to Plagueis at one point and he was like, no, I have led this. I know what will happen. And I'm like, sir, you are the apprentice, but okay. Everyone is, wild. And then I was just excited that we got Maul. I was like so shocked. That is too much bacillus on my finger. Again, you can't see this, but I'm trying to put ointment on my fingers, which I'm supposed to do. Sometimes I put too much on accident. But yeah, so like, there's just so much stuff. I was not expecting Darth Maul. I was very, very excited. Oh, they're barking at something. I actually do need to make this quick because I have to make coffee and then start getting ready for the movie. This is going on that. But it was just really well done. Like, Sidious was presented in a fantastic way. We got a lot of him becoming who he is and ultimately seeing that he really plays a long game. Just so excited that we got Maul. And then it was really, really crazy to me that we got a recap of the Phantom Menace in there because I wasn't expecting it, even though they mentioned Phantom Menace a couple times, like the phrase. So that was really cool. I would actually really recommend this if you're like, I would also recommend it if you're, I know this will be out before the movie, like this isn't coming out until after the movie's out of theaters, but if you're rewatching Revenge of the Sith, or even just the original trilogy, I'm hoping this stays focused on my face for like 2 more seconds, you should read this because it was really interesting and it sets up Sidious a lot. So I thought it was really well done. Lucino, he did a really great job making me not care about Sidious. He made Sidious a very horrible person, but he gave us a lot of really good backstory and like setup for everything that's happening in the original trilogy courtesy of Sidious. But yeah, I have to go make coffee, but you're coming with me so I can show you how that process works because it's a little different than normal. So I will explain when we get to the kitchen. I'm gonna put my wraps on and then yeah, I will take you down with me. You're also coming to the movie, but we're gonna make coffee real quick. So see you in just a moment in my kitchen, Gremlin. Hello, you're going to hear very loud classical music because we're playing music for the dogs. So, first thing, very cool solo cups. And by solo, I mean the movie Solo. I already have Krista's filled with coffee because I'm taking hers first. Hers is like a coffee with cream already in it, and I'll be using Stoke for mine. So this is inspired by the Black Calf at Galaxy's Edge, and normally I just do this with whipped cream and Cocoa Puffs, but they didn't have any chocolate whipped cream, so I bought this Coffee Mate Extra flavor, and I have a cream, like a frother. So hold on. Is that the max? They're cold. I think so. There's different maxes. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I keep coughing this morning. I think it's the weather. But I have that in there and I'll put this on and then I'll show you. Oh, now my nose itches. Goodness. Okay. Hi. You're gonna get real close to my face for a sec. And flip. counter is kind of a mess. Everything is kind of a mess. Let me get the function going. Oh, come on. There we go. So blue is the cold function. And then just hit start. And it'll be a frothin'. And then I'm just gonna pour my coffee while that's going. It's gonna be a little noisy. So once that's done, oh my gosh, now I can't even put you back. It's all going so well this morning. So that'll froth for Krista's. I'll put coffee in my cup. But these are from our Good China, aka our Solo A Star Wars Story wet bar collection. Krista hunted down all the pieces. We have like a pitcher, we have all the cups, we have the plates, and we use them during May. I'm just pouring coffee in a cup. We use them in May a lot, and I pulled these out for this morning, but I still have to get dressed and do my stuff, but that'll be fine. I may or may not be able to do the makeup, so we'll see. I just don't know if I have the right now the like hand skill to do it, but I don't know, I'll try. Krista was trying to find a shirt to wear to the movie because she wanted to wear a Star Wars shirt, and she has like spirit jerseys for different locations in Star Wars, and they're not where they're supposed to be. So they're not in her actual closet, and they're not in, we have a room that we call the closet room, but it's also kind of our like ad hoc storage room, and they are normally hanging up in one of those places and they're not in either place. So I managed to find her in a Ahsoka sweatshirt, but that's not what she wanted to wear, so she's wearing it because it was what I could find. But I don't know where her spirit jerseys are, and it's annoying because I know she wore at least one of them. She wore a couple of them last year, so I was like, they should be hanging up. Like, we just haven't put them back, and I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, so I'm gonna take her coffee up to her once this is foamed, and then I'll probably chug mine and try and do my Ahsoka makeup because we have to leave in like 25 minutes. There's a cat doing something. You're up there. Yep, there's a cat doing something. You should. There's a cat on top of my fridge. So I'm just waiting for that to go. I got regular Cocoa Puffs. The off-brand kind were bigger, but we weren't gonna eat them fast enough, so I just got the regular Cocoa Puffs. But yeah, there we go. I was like, it's probably close to done. Oh gosh. Now, it's not gonna be as fancy as like the cold foam at Galaxy's Edge because it can only froth so much, but should sit on top. I'll do a little on mine. There you go. So this is what they look like. The foam is kind of distributing already. When I use whipped cream, it just sits on top, but it's on there. And then from the bag of Cocoa Puffs, we add, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to pick so many of these up. It's hard to judge where stuff is when you're pouring it and looking through the camera. But yeah, so that is we're having as a beverage this morning. I did not prep for food, so who knows. But I gotta clean stuff up. But I gotta get this upstairs to Krista. So yeah, I will see you at the movie theater, gremlins. Hello! I look totally normal. This is the outfit I'm wearing to the movie. So these are this is just from Disney Store, right? We bought them last May the 4th. The Liku? Yeah. Or the Disney Tails. Store. Yeah, online. Yeah, Disney they were on sale. So
I bought it on the Force Day.
Yeah. So like these are plush and not the ones you get at like whatchamaface. Whatever. You missed the turn.
You were just sitting there. It was green. I gave you a little polite tap.
Yeah, the car in front of us didn't go. And then he flipped us off because Krista was like, hey, go, because you don't get very long at that light. But yeah, so I did face stuff to look like Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, and then I'm wearing her Universe Ahsoka dress that I got 2 years ago. I think this is 2 years old, maybe last year.
What are you doing, dude?
Being annoying. But yeah, so this is what I'm wearing to the movies, and I have my Darth Maul backpack, who is right here. Ta-da! He glows in the dark. And Krista's wearing a very fun Ahsoka sweatshirt that I have a matching one of, but I'm wearing this, which is totally normal. I wore Leia when we saw episode 1. But yeah, so this is what you're seeing right now. At some point I'll try and get footage of me in the full get up, but probably not till after the movie. So we will see you after the movie. Maybe I'll have Krista film me outside the theater or something, but talk to you in a little bit, gremlins, after the movie, which I'm very, very excited about. Bye for now. Look, this is just so you can see my full outfit.
It's already recording.
I know, I pushed the button.
Okay.
Okay, Maul's over here. We're gonna hit the stop record now. Thank you.
I don't know how to stop recording.
Oh, little red button. Hello, we have left. We're in the car. Gonna get changed. What did you think?
It's always good to see Star Wars on the big screen.
Yeah, no, it was really, really cool. We had good seats. We did scoot over a seat because the seat next to Krista hadn't sold and I was like right up on top of this guy. Mostly because he was like, he had his phone and his snacks kind of like leaning into the seat that I was supposed to sit in.
Armrests.
Yeah,
armrests on both sides of him, which is greedy. If you're seated next to someone, you take one armrest.
Yeah, so
not all of them.
I literally went on the app and looked to see if anyone had bought the seats next to Krista, and I was like, no one bought the seats, we can scoot over. So we sat a little farther over. It was really cool. I had Krista take photos of me while the credits were rolling because the theater was completely empty at that point, so that was fun. But I didn't want to film because the music is definitely copyright strike stuff. We're gonna head home. I'm gonna change. We're gonna take the dogs out and then we're gonna go get food and go grocery shopping. There is a thing about the book that I totally forgot to fill you in on. So Darth Plagueis is doing like really creepy science experiments involving midichlorians, and Darth Plagueis is mentioned in Revenge of the Sith by Palpatine. But he's like doing all of these experiments, and at one point one of the droids says like, oh, it's 114D, this droid that he basically steals from a ship called the Woebegone. And the droid's like, oh yes, the master's pregnancies are going well. And Sidious is like, what? He's like, yes, his pregnancies using the Force. Or it's not the Force, but you know, the dark side of the Force. And he's like, what? So he like actually is talking about that with Anakin, though he doesn't mention the miraculous birth stuff. But yeah, so
You should tell them what you told me that I didn't know about Padme, because I was upset that she was just giving up.
The dying thing. So at the end of Revenge of the Sith, when Padme is dying, I have heard a theory that Sidious is like pulling her life force from her so that she will not live.
So she's not giving up.
Right. It's that he's trying to keep her from staying alive because he needs Anakin to have no one. So he's doing it to her. I don't remember where that theory came from. I just remember reading it or seeing it where like...
I like it a lot better than she just gives up.
Right.
Because you know, you're supposed to give... You have two kids
she's
and
two
you're
kids.
just gonna give up?
But yeah, no, the theory I saw was that Sidious is trying to ensure that she does not live through the childbirth because he really needs Anakin to think everyone died. Because he tells him Padme died and then he is led to believe that the children have also died. So that's the theory I heard. It may actually have been in the Padme trilogy books where that's like presented, because I think Sabe says like she wouldn't have just died. Like she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, she was a fighter. She wouldn't have just given up.
And so I think maybe it was in that, or maybe it's like a theory I read after reading those. I don't know, but I do remember seeing something where it was like, oh, Sidious is totally screwing with Padme's life force, because that's one of the things he can remember from Plagueis. But yeah, so we're gonna shop. Am I making tomato soup today?
Maybe for dinner.
Okay, we're eating lunch / breakfast very late. I'll at least show you the recipe in this to close this out. It is really good.
Did you show them our breakfast coffee?
Yes, I showed them. I made it this morning, and then I ran yours up to you. But yeah, so you saw the coffee. If I don't make the tomato soup in this one, I'll at least show you the recipe and like talk about it a little. I may try and make it in the crock pot to save myself time, because it like you have to watch it, but if it's in the crock pot you don't. So I might try a variation on the soup.
Good.
It's
so good.
It's a really good soup.
So good.
But yeah, but we're gonna go. I'm gonna get changed. I gotta find a different hat. I do have an Ahsoka hat that maybe I will wear. But yeah, so I will talk to you later to close out the vlog. Dear gremlins, bye for now. Hello, we are in the bed. We are back from errand running. So the last time you saw us, we were in the car headed home. Now we like got home, I changed. I'm wearing the same sweatshirt as Krista. And I put on this hat because it matched kind of. But we're just in bed. Chloe's on Krista. Kira is at my feet.
She would like you to know that we did not bring her home any sushi.
Yes, Chloe
And
refers
she's offended.
to sushi as sush, and she's very upset we didn't bring her any. We don't get sushi very often, but we decided to get it today because Krista's wanted it for like 2 weeks. We're both really, really full. But after...
But before Chloe started having stomach problems, when we would get it,
she would get like
to bring
a piece
home,
of fish.
she
Yeah,
would get a piece of fish.
and she can't anymore because she gets very tummy sick very easily.
Because we're like getting just the fish on rice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She loves that. She's like, sushi.
She does. But yeah, so we're both really tired and full of sushi, and we did grocery shopping. So we got everything-ish that we were looking for. So I'm not making the potato soup tonight. It is called tomato soup. I'll show you the actual recipe, though I make a lot of changes. So this time around, we're going to attempt it with frozen hash browns and frozen chopped onions because I can't really wield a knife. So I don't want to put me and Krista through chopping a bajillion things. So I got frozen hash browns and frozen onions. And I got hash browns because my mom used to make a potato soup that involved hash browns, like frozen hash browns in a crock pot. So we're going to attempt it in the crock pot this time, just to see how it goes. I have the recipe over here. I'll grab it so you can see it, but I'm not making it tonight. The other thing that we were like super looking for were what we call dark side cookies, and they're the double chocolate Betty Crocker cookie. And we had been to 2 grocery stores, no luck, and I finally found them at our local-ish Price Chopper.
Hi, baby.
And I grabbed 4 bags of them. And we're only not making them tonight because 1, I did not realize that our eggs were expired, so we don't have eggs. But we picked up desserts at the mall. There's this like, it's odd to explain because it's a Mexican restaurant, but it's like an actual sit-down restaurant decided to put a version of their restaurant in our mall. And it's like a local business, and they sell flan, and this woman makes them a tres leches cake, and it's incredible. Krista loves the flan. I think flan is gross. But she got us 2 tres leches cake slices. So we're gonna have those later. So I was like, well, I don't have eggs, and I didn't realize it, but also we have cake. So we're gonna do that for dessert later. But I am calling it on this video because 1, both of the books are read. 2, we have seen Revenge of the Sith. 3, I am very sleepy. And I think we're just gonna chill for the rest of the night. I'm gonna change into some cooler weather pajamas, or I guess warmer weather pajamas, but cooler clothes because I am hot in this sweater right now. But yeah, so this is really the end of the video. We read Labyrinth of Evil, which was very good and very helpful going into Revenge of the Sith because I knew stuff. 2, then, well, the second book was Darth Plagueis, which was extra helpful for Sidious stuff because I was like, ooh, he's talking about Plagueis. Ooh, this man is lying. Ooh, this guy's a jerk. Which Sidious is always a jerk. But yeah, so those are really fun to read going into Revenge of the Sith. And then it was just really cool seeing Revenge of the Sith on screen again. A billion years ago, I saw it when it came out because I'm not young. But we had a really fun time. Our theater wasn't rowdy or anything, which was nice. Sometimes you go to the re-releases and it's really loud. What movie did we go to that someone brought a baby? It was a re-release of like a not bring a baby to movie.
Wasn't it Scream?
I think it was something. Someone brought a baby and I literally looked at Krista and I was like, there's an infant in this theater. Like, it's too loud for an infant. Just in general, it'd be too loud. But no, everyone was very well behaved. Someone clapped when the credits started. That was very sweet. But yeah, it was a really fun time. I was really excited to dress up as Ahsoka. I secretly hoped maybe someone else would be dressed up, but no luck. We have they're not a 501st, but we have this like Star Wars group that occasionally goes to stuff and they dress up, but they didn't come to this. Or if they went to this, they are doing a different night or they did a different night and I didn't know. But I had fun. I haven't dressed up as Ahsoka in forever, and I hadn't worn her tails, the ones I wore today, ever, because I hadn't had a chance to. So that was really fun. I thought my makeup came out pretty well for having to use parts of my hand, and then when I was doing part of it I couldn't see because of the gauze on my fingers. But yeah, it was fun. Does suck that they were out of popcorn buckets and stuff, but it's okay. We have buckets and cups from other movies. But yeah, so if you saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters, let me know, or if you've read either of those books because they were fun. If you read the Darth Bane book, let me know because there was an excerpt for it in the back of the Darth Plagueis one, and I didn't read it, but I'm kind of curious. But yeah, so I'm gonna get changed, gremlins. I'm gonna take a nap. Ooh, I did say I would show you the tomato soup recipe. Hold on, we're grabbing. Behold, my wife on her phone and an adorable Chloe. Ah! That was too far away. Why did I do that to myself? But here you go. Again, official Star Wars Galaxy cookbook. They have never made this soup in the park to my knowledge, but you know, whatever. But it's the tomato soup. We do call it topato. Normally I think Krista just says topato when she wants me to make it. And then this is kind of what it looks like, but for this recipe right here, I do not include the spinach. I typically sub milk for heavy cream, because that's what we did last time and you didn't seem to mind. Because the heavy cream is not super important. What else don't I put in here? I do the broth. Yeah, we just sub out milk for cream. We don't put the spinach in. And I am very sure I do extra garlic for Krista. But yeah, so I'm attempting this crockpot style the next time I do it. I do need to find the garlic I have in the fridge, but we have garlic. So I have all the supplies for this. And then I showed you the spice brew. The other thing I'm gonna make, so you'll have to stick stick around, come back for another video. For May the 4th, I'm going to make our version of Ronto wraps, and I use a recipe in a magazine that I bought ages ago. So if you want to know how I make those, you can check that video out when I actually film it, because I'm going to do like a May the 4th weekend or like a big May the 4th stuff video. But I will talk to you later, gremlins, for it's really just gonna be all Star Wars content until the end of May. So get ready to punch it, Chewie, until the end of May. So I will see you in the next one, gremlins.